Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Schlage number 34-307. This is a package of 100 number 7 bottom pins, is what it is. When you buy one, you're buying a multiple of 100, and that's just how pins are sold, meaning I don't know that every manufacturer is in a multiple of 100. 100 is very common. The point of the matter is, in I think all instances, they're never sold as each. There might be some high security stuff that's in different quantities, but we're looking right now at the Schlage pins, multiples of 100. Now, the part number dissection, 34, that's going to tell us that it's a cylinder part. The 3 tells us that it's a bottom pin. The 07 tells us the size. So that same logic would be a 34-305. That's a 5 bottom pin. 02, that's a 2 bottom pin, etc. Now, in addition to bottom pins, you could obviously do master pins and then driver pins. And there are different pins for all three of those classifications, or top pins, Schlage calls them. It's important to know that the top pins change. There are 3 sizes in the Schlage standard system. So as your total pin stack changes, so does the driver size, meaning the driver or top pin size, meaning that the total physical height of your pin stack, including the driver, when you incorporate the spring on top, needs to be within a relatively tight margin so that spring is not excessively compressed or is too slack to properly push the pin stack down when the key is exercised and then removed. There is a document down below this video called the Schlage bidding specifications, which drives home the point of not only the availability of the different pins and their part numbers, but why it's important to use a genuine product when it is really the best option for you to use a genuine product. What I mean by that is I have a universal kit that's back here by a well-known company. And I have that kit because I use it to work on different manufacturers of locks, different brand names. And for classic or conventional systems, it works flawlessly. However, it's not perfect. And only people who make a living as a locksmith would be able to attest to this. But it's not perfect in the sense that all of the dimensional properties of a manufacturer's system of material as it pertains to a cylinder, the plug, the Bible, the angle of the cut, the width of the plateau where the bottom pin seats into, all of that, the effective plug diameter, all of that conspires to require the effective plug diameter as it relates to what the profile should look like on the top of this pin. A genuine Schlage pin is going to be different than a pin that's been made to work in lots of different manufacturers' material. For instance, the width of the bottom of the pin is not pointed. It is squared off or flattened off. That dimension is exact for the Schlage system. The treatment of the circumference of the top of the pin is particular as well, as is the radius at which, the pin is not flat. That's obviously related to the fact that you're sticking it into something round. In this case, the effective plug diameter for Schlage is 0.5 inch. So when you imagine the cylinder plug, how the bottom of it is rounded, how the top of it is rounded, not only should the bottom of your key not be completely square, it should be slightly rounded, but the top of your pin as well, okay, should be slightly rounded. In that universal kit, I highly doubt that every effective plug diameter on all of its systems that it's compatible with are the same, and that relates to the actual physical properties of the pin. Here's the point. if you do nothing but Schlage, if you have an installation where it's nothing but Schlage, and you would never run into any other manufacturer, I would wholeheartedly recommend that you invest specifically only in that manufacturer's system and use genuine equipment, because you will, possibly without even realizing it, have a very pleasant experience working with the system, because all the parts are engineered, dimensionally manufactured to be totally compatible with each other, without accommodations being made for it to work in other systems. Okay, that key bitting specification is important. And not to dive too deep into that, what I do want to also point out is that 100-degree cut, and then the .031 width of the flat portion of the cut is directly related to the chisel point. It's not a chisel, but the point on the pin itself and the width of the plateau of the bottom of the pin. All of that conspires to be exactly correct and accurate for a Schlage system. That document's handy because if you're looking at pins, you're very likely looking for other items as well, such as springs. Okay, very common to go with your pins. One thing that people don't do is order different size top pins, and I would recommend that because the amount of real estate that you stick in the cylinder plug and the Bible, and how much, again, that spring is compressed or not compressed correctly, all need to be within a tolerance. So different top pins are important for that as well. And that's it. There's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Schlage products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. I'm partial to Schlage, and that's because I'm most familiar with their product line, certainly. I am absolutely appreciative of the quality of the product, but mostly because of the technical support that I get from their technical support department. There's one person there in particular who is flawless with responding. I send a technical question about every 2 weeks, it seems, and I always get a response. It's important because my clients, some of them identify themselves as locksmiths and need help from someone who understands locksmithing to the point where they can get them the answer to the question. Any questions on the Schlage 34-307 number 7 bottom pin, which is, by the way, 270 thousandths in length? That would mean that the depth of the cut is .230. If you measured from the bottom of your key blank to the bottom of your cut with a caliper, you'd come up to 230. Well, your effective plug diameter is 0.5, so 0.230 plus the length of the 7 pin, 0.270 is 0.5. And that's why it's a 270. Or it's a 270 because your depth of your cut is 230 and your effective plug diameter is 0.5. Anyway, any questions on the 34-307 number 7 bottom pins or any other Schlage product? Please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.